Hi everyone, the Tracy Piper here. This is our second live video with Voss Gallery for our Through the Looking Glass group show. And today I'm going to be interviewing Malisa Suchanya, who I met, like a couple of years ago. Let me actually add her. Let's see, where is she? There she is. Hi, Melissa. So I was working with her when we were doing, what was that called? Hi, Melissa!
Hi!
What was it that we were doing? It was that fast speed painting. Art battle.
Art battle!
Wow, my brain. I love I can't remember anything. Anyway, that's how I met Melissa, like 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, and she's just an amazing artist. She's going to be a part of our group show. I'm really excited to introduce you guys to her. So I'm going to let her take the floor and tell you more about her.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Tracy, for inviting me for this show. If you don't know me, I'm an illustrator / artist based in West Oakland now. I've been painting for, I would say, since I was 14, and I've been teaching the last 3 years, so my art practice has been on kind of hold, and I'm re-entering this world of full-time art making now for the last couple of months. So yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
My first question for you, for people who may not know your work, how would you describe your work?
My work is pretty whimsical. It oftentimes shows a relationship between person and nature, so there's always an element of a human in it, or if it's not human, then it's a subject of maybe like a natural element like an animal, but it's oftentimes like surrounded by foliage. It really plays around with the sense of empirical kind of environment. I'm really interested in the fleeting and the unseen, so things that are oftentimes overlooked in nature or small pockets of kind of whimsical places I really like to amplify in my work. And right now I'm really interested in kind of portraiture through hands and faces and trying to work through difficult emotions and kind of experiences through the lens of these appendages.
Totally. Well, in that way, we're kind of similar. Like it's one of the reasons I love your work. I love working with portraiture and hands and eyes and all that kind of stuff. I think they can be so expressive. Exactly. And the other thing that's similar between us is that your color palette is just explosive. It's one of the things I love about your work. I did post on my Instagram an example of her work, but if you haven't seen it, you should check her out after we're done with this video. Let's see, the next question I had for you. How do you feel like COVID has impacted you as an artist, as a teacher, as a person?
Yeah, COVID definitely sparked a lot of anxiety personally for me. And it kind of comes with like a dual-edged sword where it's a blessing in some ways because I do come from a privileged standpoint. I can create work at home. I'm using a lot of this time for self-reflection and actually being very proactive with my work. So that in itself with my bubble has actually served me really well. It also has made me really think about what am I working on in terms of expressing difficult things. I have a lot of time to go into my own head and emotions. Yeah. So I've been pulling a lot of that out and actually just kind of using the canvas as a space for me to kind of reflect. So in that sense, it's been really provocative and also very proactive on my sense. It's been really like productive on my in my world. But definitely it's posed a lot of questions in terms of showing in art galleries. How does that look with COVID? Selling work online. How do you, engage with your audience? How do you kind of stay alive and authentic in a space that is quite, I would say, constricting? So it does pose its challenges, and I've seen a lot of artist friends kind of struggle. So I'm also holding that space with them. And really just trying to figure out how can we all hold each other up in this community. And that's why I really also appreciate what you're doing with your work, and you've been an inspiration for a lot of people, and for me especially, just to kind of keep going. Let's kind of keep good vibes up, and as much as we're struggling, work together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons we decided at Voss to do this project actually was, when I was starting to think about a residency and what I wanted to talk about. And it was really like we started thinking about this right as COVID hit. It was like, this is really difficult. This is a really hard time for creatives. Like, yes, we like to sit in our studio and paint, but like, it's hard, like mentally and emotionally, it's hard. And so I wanted to find a way, how do you connect with a community that cannot come together? So this kind of dialogue between artists was one of those ideas.
Yeah.
And like, how do you introduce work without seeing it in person? And
Exactly.
so obviously Instagram is a great platform for that. We've done stuff online for a while, but it's just kind of finding creative ways to make our voices heard. And then lastly, with Through the Looking Glass, it is a reflection of what's going on now and what we hope maybe for the future. And so on that note, I know it's kind of early on, but have you thought about what you want to do for your circular canvas at all yet?
I have given it some thought. Since I'm kind of playing with the hand series, I thought I might do an extension of that. It's not, I'm not really sure exactly what topic I'm going to kind of touch on, but it's just maybe more of a personal reflection and extension of, the many emotions and like kind of difficulties that we might be facing as a community and as individuals that I want to keep exploring and amplifying through through this lens. So yeah.
I feel like also like I've been really drawn to hands lately too. I think with COVID and not being able to touch, like that is a difficult thing. And I don't think of myself as a touchy person, but I guess I am actually. I'm always like tapping people on the shoulder, giving hugs, and it's weird to not have that anymore. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what you create along the way. And of course, I'll share updates. I'll be sharing updates of all the artists.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. So while I'm thinking of questions, I'm going to invite anybody else who's watching to also think of questions for a little Q&A. Oh, I know what I was going to talk to you about. I remember. I loved your recent post yesterday. I know it was like a quick sketch and then you were adding color, but I admired the strength and courage to post about, if you guys didn't see it, she made these beautiful delicate illustrations of people kissing of all sorts of sexual orientations and also race, and I thought it was just so poignant, so now, so immediate. I thought it was just like a really beautiful thing. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Or?
Yeah, of course. That yesterday was actually such, like you said, it was in the now. I woke up to a very unpleasant message on my Facebook because I'm being very vocal about, being with people who are struggling. So if I see something, I want to like repost it. I want to like have eyes on it. And someone felt the need to tell me like, hey, I don't appreciate you talking about like, don't eat at this place because it supports like anti-gay, and I was very frustrated. And inside, I know like I couldn't engage with this individual, like it would take energy out of me. So I wanted to divert my energy into, counteracting it with beauty and with like, this is my skill, and if I can make something beautiful and powerful and uplift people, then I'm going to do that. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with someone whose discourse is already so rooted in something I don't believe in, So those works were also very much for me to be like, I can give back this way. And I wanted to portray something that is universal because I wanted something gentle. I want something that felt, like calm, and beautiful because I want to celebrate that love. I want to celebrate this interaction with people and not have to keep worrying about like, oh, who is it between? It doesn't matter. This love should be expressed, right? So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's Pride Month. And, as we talk about what's going on in the world right now, Black Lives Matter, but Black trans lives matter.
Exactly.
LGBTQ, like, as we all push for hopefully a better world, I think these conversations are going to come hard and fast. I definitely, with my work, I get the same thing. I get like Trump supporters who want to bait you know, but the beauty of art is that we do make people think with our work. And it is, I think, as the duty of an artist to make that kind of work. So I really feel like when I saw that, I was just so proud of you. Really, like, I think it's really awesome. And I think, you know, the other thing with art, the beauty of art is like representation, right? And that's what you're doing. That's what you're giving when you make work like that. So I applaud you on it. I think it's great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of you. Honestly.
Me too. I'm very much a big fan of your work as well.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to open up the floor for any questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Malisa? Or
I think I don't really have anything to talk about necessarily. I just want to like thank like people who have been following me, and also for you to like everyone's been very kind and validating. I know that this is a difficult time for everyone, and everyone is going through different kinds of trauma and anxiety and difficulties. So I just want to keep being real and authentic online, because I think it helps other people who aren't as vocal online to know that they're not experiencing you know, alone, the difficulty of everything alone, because it does feel very isolating. When I was going through a lot of difficulties, I was like, I'm so, you know, weak, and everyone is like probably fine, but I don't know why I'm feeling this way, and am I am I being whiny? So it's, I think, validating to be seen and to be comforted and to say like, hey, it's okay. And if you're going through a hard time, like, I think we all are, and we all need to kind of like band together and hold each other up, even if it's through words or just a gesture, or just even saying like, I see you and it's going to be okay. So I really appreciate the community.
I mean, even just being able to be vocal, you know, I have always been honest about my feelings, sometimes even too much. But see, that's the thing too, society always tells us feelings are wrong, but feelings are our guidance, right?
Yes,
and I think, you know, that's one other thing I want to see changed in this world, is that, you know, it's okay to have feelings. They help you understand the world around you. And it's okay to talk about those things. Like, there's a very big stigma against, you know, mental illness and depression, and, you know, even anxiety is like a hard one. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna take a Xanax, get over yourself. You know, it's like, no, there's a lot going on right now, and it's okay to feel that. And sometimes it's even just the acknowledgement, you're right, that makes people feel seen and heard, and that's one of the biggest things. So I think that's great too, that you're working in that realm. I think keep it up. You know, when I have been honest, most of the time everybody has been sweet about it.
Ideally.
Ideally, but you know, also it's like, I feel like when people are mean, they're going through something else for themselves too. You know what I mean? Like, I really do think that. So it's hard. It's hard to be in the public eye sometimes. It's hard to be honest in that way, but I think it's worthwhile for sure.
Exactly.
Well, cool. I think we can start wrapping this up unless I see any other questions. Everybody's just giving us thumbs up, some hearts. Oh, here we go. Here's a question. What does a normal day in your studio look like?
A normal day in my studio. So on a productive day, I try to stay in my studio working for 4 to 5 hours. I set up my space. It's a pretty tight space considering. So I try to like have everything set up, and I have my coffee, and I usually go painting for that time period. And once I stop, I just let me stop. So it's pretty basic. I don't do anything particularly fancy in here. But what has really helped actually is going live. I try to go live maybe once a week. And that helps me engage and feel like not so isolated, because I think being in a studio actually sometimes can be more detrimental to my mental health, especially on a bad day. So going live, talking to people, answering questions, being active in the community actually has really helped me feel more human. And like, you know, like, oh yeah, like, you know, even just talking about cartoons or like my process. So it's been really, really great.
Yeah, I think also that live aspect, it's like people really do, I mean, we kind of learned this through art battles, like people like to watch the creation of the work. I mean, and at first I was like, who wants to watch me do this? I'm just throwing paint around it, but like people really are interested in the whole thing of it. So I think, you know, that's a great thing that technology has done.
Yeah.
Also, we have a question. Have you discovered any new artists during shelter in place that you are really loving?
Oh boy, I'm terrible with names, so I can't remember the names, but I've engaged with a couple of artists from back home in Singapore because I joined the Asian Creative Group on Facebook, and I'm connected there. And I also, there's another artist who's a black artist who I'm blanking on the name again because I'm just
Post it later. We're going to post this video to Voss Gallery's Instagram Live, and you can just post it in the comments, and then people can. I'm terrible with names too. You know, I ask you how to say your last name, even though I've met you like 100 times. You know, it's hard. There's so much out there, but you know, I think it's great that we can lift each other up too. I think that is one of the key things of this project and of my lifetime as an artist, and I think you as well. It's like there's so much room for everyone, and having, you know, a diverse group of people. I think right now with the artists we have, like, I think there are like more women than we have of men. Like I'm really looking for just like voices that aren't necessarily always heard.
Yes,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting. Let me think. Anything else? Okay, well, I'll tell you a little bit about what's coming up. Like I said before, sorry, you're going to just sit and listen to me talk for a second. I am going to be doing these every Tuesday and Thursday. I'll have one artist with me. If not, if we start getting kind of full up, we'll have two. This is the format. We'll get to talk to them, get to know them like we just got to know you. They'll be at noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the group show with all the work that we're talking about is Through the Looking Glass. And that will open August 7th. And we'll do an Instagram Live. And I'll take you around and talk to you all about it. And it's going to be really fun. Yeah, let's make sure we're probably, like I'm thinking right now, we should probably hashtag the work we're working on with Through the Looking Glass so we can know where to find it.
That's awesome.
And yeah, is there any other questions from our viewers, or do you have anything else you want to say?
Nothing else for me, but I just really want to thank you and Voss Gallery for holding the space and really trying to work with artists during this time. I know it's very complicated and there's a lot of adapting going on, but you guys are doing a fucking fantastic job, and I love you, and I'm so happy to be included in this. So thank you so much for holding the space.
Well, thank you for being available today, and I can't wait to see what you create. I know it's going to be magnificent. I love all of your work. I'm so excited. Yay! And thank you to everyone for tuning in. Like I said before, this will be posted on Voss Gallery's Instagram TV. You can follow up with any questions you have for me or Melissa in the comments. We'll tag her too. Yeah, I'm just so excited. Happy Thursday, everyone. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.